Welcome to Unburrowed, where we ask Evil Genius's professional StarCraft players your unconventional questions. Here's a question from Twitter. From Omar Vader. Do you go by any nicknames, and did you have any nicknames growing up?
No.
No?
I don't think so.
You never had a nickname?
Nothing I can remember.
Nothing on your, Gregory is a pretty nicknameable name. Nobody ever made anything up?
Gregors.
Did somebody call you Gregors?
Gregors.
That's right.
Huck
Because
calls
of
him
Chris.
Gregors.
Yeah.
You have a tattoo of one of your nicknames.
I have a couple nicknames, but I never really.
Cave Ken.
I was called the dog in sports growing up.
It's
The Muslim called himself the Devil Terran.
Yeah. That's actually the dog. That's a pretty sick nickname. In football, I was Mighty Mouse, but it honestly, it got used twice. It's hard to even call that a nickname.
Mighty
And
Mouse.
then for pizza delivery, I was number 1. That was actually my nickname because I was so fucking fast. That and A-Team.
It's like a
And
secret
Speed
agent.
Racer.
Of
I
pizza
had a bunch
delivery.
of nicknames.
Speed Racer, A-Team, and number 1.
Yeah.
He was really good at the pizza
I'm not
What'd you
joking.
do?
I hold the record for most tips in one night at my pizza delivery place.
$28.
160.
All of it spent on speeding tickets.
Oh, easily.
I remember that though. You saved up a lot of money.
Yeah,
Bruce is a really good pizza
He
delivery.
was good. We teased him, but he was good at it.
I was good at it.
Of course, we tease him about everything, so it's not really.
Yeah, right.
All right, if
The
you
ladies call me Big Steve.
Steve, huh? Why do they call you that?
Can't tell you.
Oh.
Some things gotta stay in the past, honey. Or in this case, some ladies.
Or in your imagination, either one.
They're there
Yeah,
too.
I didn't have any nicknames either. Whenever someone tried to give me a nickname, I just told them not to because I hated it.
You don't like nicknames?
Not the ones they gave me. No.
Where did Thor's name come from?
Thor's 10 years ago, I just wanted something that sounded cool, and it did in my
Mission
ears.
accomplished.
Thank
Well,
you.
people call you Spoon Terran and King in the North. Do you like those ones?
Yeah, I like those ones because they've grown on me,
Mm-hmm.
and it's cool because Nano I used to be called King in the North, and then suddenly people started calling me that instead, and he got really pissed. So whenever someone tells me that,
Wait,
I'm
that's
like,
not funny.
It's funny.
Well, speaking of StarCraft nicknames, Jordan LOLOL on Twitter asked if you had to pick a different SC2 handle, what would it be?
Hmm.
That's a tough one.
I know you guys have thought about this before.
I had a Smurf account, Limper, that I actually really liked. And that was a character from the best series of books ever, the Black Company books. And he was a badass evil wizard. I actually really liked that one. But then everyone just kept making penis jokes, and thinking it came from poker. So I abandoned
You got a house crash down on him too. The limper. In the books, I read
I
it
haven't
too.
read it for a long time. I don't even remember.
He limped.
He died
limped
4
into a
times.
house. Yeah.
So.
The only thing I actually liked about those books is how much was unexplained, but how cool that was. They were just like, this is how it is.
It bothered me, but it was really intriguing. It was there was so much history that he hinted at that didn't come
Yeah.
through. And he's going to die before he finishes the series,
Yeah.
too.
George R. R. Martin as well.
Wow.
Bastards. Jim Butcher will keep on going strong.
Yeah.
He practices
He'll
martial
live
arts. And he's
forever.
not fat or old. Another nickname I would have, I use a Smurf called Redeemer, my favorite Spawn character. He's really cool. I used Revolver for a while, which I got inspired when I was in Templar Twilight Forum. The band The Haunted. If you lowercase the R on both sides and then uppercase everything else, it says Evolve with 2 R's on either side. It kind of revolves as well. Cool word that way.
Eagle Burger.
That's
I made up a bunch of funny nicknames, but
Those were all good.
I made up Eagle Burger, Nuclear Jesus. Just
Nuclear
I try to
Jesus?
basically try to find the
Laser.
most,
the most
yeah.
American names possible.
Yeah, the most American names possible. But no,
Most
I don't
nicknames
know.
with Jesus are pretty hilarious.
Yeah. Let's see.
Eagleburger was amazing.
Yeah, Eagle Burger was.
That's the one I used, I think.
Yeah, you and Noni. Yeah.
Yeah.
What else? I don't know. My serious Smurfs are kind of odd names. I've never really even thought about switching my ID from machine because I'm really happy with it. So I guess Power Drone would be my other one.
Power Drone?
Yeah, Power Drone. I don't know. It's really random.
That's a cool one.
That's a cool one. I
Sounds
think
like
so.
a red nickname.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about you, Marcus?
I used to call myself Yakero, and
Yakero?
Yakero. But I found out that meant something in Japanese, and I didn't want something that meant something in another language. It meant something about, like, I googled it and it all turned out to be a lot of, like, marshmallow pictures. I couldn't be called that, could I?
No, probably not.
All right, next question comes from the Cry Project on Twitter. And Greg, this is special for you. What is your favorite Pokemon and why?
It'd be Squirtle, I guess, because that was the first starter I chose when I knew absolutely nothing about the game. So it's just kind of stuck with that.
Loyal forever.
Nostalgic.
Yep.
Was that on Game Boy original?
Like the first one, the big gray one.
the fatty brick one?
Yep.
Yeah. What about you guys? Favorite Pokemon?
I wasn't really super into Pokemon, or I guess I was for a while, but like, I don't really remember anything. Oh, there was this one guy. Oh fuck, what's the name? Like Poly something.
Poliwhirl?
Poliwrath, Poly.
It was like
Like
some
all
kind
of
of
those.
Are
prisma.
those ones with the whirly Q things?
Some kind of prisma looking. No, it looked like diamonds.
Polygon.
Yeah, Polygon. Polygon's cool.
I don't really know Pokemon, but is the Snorlax actually just sits there and sleeps and then it does one attack?
No, in the game it does, but like it also has other attacks and other abilities and stuff when you're fighting.
I like to imagine it just sleeps, so I'll pick the Snorlax.
That's what it does in like the storyline of the game.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I used to be like obsessed with Pokemon. I used to have every single Pokemon card of the first like 151, was it?
Yeah.
151.
You caught them all?
I caught them all, man. And every weekend I would go
What of you to do?
like play in Pokemon tournaments against other like 13, 14-year-olds, and then there'd be like the random 35-year-old guy.
That was Arctosis.
Yeah, right.
You just look that way.
But I guess if I had to pick like my favorite, I don't know. It's hard for me to pick a favorite. I say if I had to pick one favorite, it'd be Mewtwo. I just always thought he was really badass, and like I've always kind of like psychic characters. I don't know why. But Charizard was amazing. Just because like when I finally got the card, I was so stoked. It was like one of the happiest days of my life. So I guess yeah, either Charizard or Mewtwo.
Can only go up from here, Bryce.
No. God.
You know what Pokemon is like a love-hate relationship is Magikarp? Because he's totally useless. He or she, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then,
Turns
but if you use it
into
enough, it
goodness.
turns into a really good one.
Yeah.
I hated freaking
What was the best
Magikarp.
Pokemon?
Like,
They didn't have one ultimate one?
no.
Well, there
Well, in the
always
first
came
one it
new-
was like Mewtwo, except for Mew, who was weird to catch. But Mewtwo was the ultimate in the first generation.
Yeah.
But now,
I don't know. I actually haven't played the most recent
got
generation.
some kind of dragon or some shit.
They have new legendaries with every round, so I don't know if they keep one-upping them.
I'm waiting for Pokemon to get violent, just go adult. Like they start just eating the trainers and shit, and they have some swords. It'd be cool.
Mewtwo.
Well, it's Japanese, so it's gonna happen soon.
Yeah. It's all a ploy.
Okay, L. Poulis on Twitter asks, what was the wildest post-esports event party you've ever been to? I guess maybe we could say, tell one story about a wild esports after event.
This is like a cool question in theory, but then in practice,
Yeah.
actually,
Yeah,
parties are
right.
pretty
You
shitty.
can't actually tell that.
One party, 4 girls showed up.
Oh God.
They sent us to an actual club this time and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, most of them aren't actually that crazy.
Tattoos.
Yeah.
I was at a party where Too Good got bottled. He actually got hit in the head, which is pretty crazy. But the way it happened is what I like, because if you know Too Good at all or watch any of his shows or his Twitter and stuff, he's a really funny guy, but he's actually a really nice guy. And they were standing in a circle, and some stranger was just sitting there staring at Too Good, like really staring at him, really pissed. And Too Good, being who he is, went up to him and he broke from the circle, circled around, and went next to the guy and was like, "Hey, you all right, mate? You look mad." And the guy just kept staring at him, and James turned around and then he hit him in the head of the bottle.
It was
And
just
it
a
broke.
random guy?
Yeah. Broke it on his head. He had a minor concussion, some bleeding, and the guy was thrown out immediately. And James' brother is this big buff guy, and he was looking for him to beat his ass. Never found him.
That was in Sweden, right?
Yeah.
That's so
I'm sorry.
And for the rest of the night, James was a combination of drunk, but because of the blood loss, he was also like really loopy. It was really funny.
Any other stories? Or are we gonna leave it?
I really honestly just don't
Nah.
have anything.
That works.
Okay.
Watch Twitter.
I think there are stories, but I'm not tell them, right? No.
All right. So Angel Shock SC2 asks, "How did you guys become as professional as you are today?" And by that, we're gonna take that to mean like well-spoken and good in front of a camera, and able to keep your mouth when you're supposed to.
I done learned to talk good through the education system.
Well, I mean, it's a good question because there are a lot of esports pros who don't really know how to speak in front of a camera, maybe put their foot in their mouth a lot.
I think
Well, I
that's
still
more
do
it.
that.
It's just like everyone else makes us look better because they're bad at it. Like I don't feel very professional and
Oh.
well-spoken at all.
I'm
I'm
much
definitely not professional.
I'm much better than I used to be. Remember my what was it, like the first WCG interview or something? Oh god, you guys have to remember that. I pretty much I started like answering a question and then realizing halfway through the question that I'd forgot what the question was and like had to like ask it like again while I'm actually explaining what I was trying to explain. It was like so embarrassing, but eventually just through doing a ton of interviews and being on camera a lot, you kind of just get used to it, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, didn't you say you did drama in high school too?
A little bit, like a tiny bit.
You're just a naturally good actor though.
Yeah, Bryce is kind of the actor of our bunch.
Yeah, guess so.
I did forensics or debate in college, and that was really big for me. I've always been pretty well spoken, and I don't really have a fear of public speaking, so that's always been fine. But that's where you like learn strategy and communication and stuff like that. And then since then, just always been on pretty big teams, and big teams always get a lot of attention, so you just kind of have to speak a lot.
What other big teams than EG?
Templars of Twilight. 88
That
was
was
pretty big in
Broodwar,
there.
like, you didn't have to
I mean,
speak.
yeah. I mean, obviously, it's different scope. It's not like I was talking to a lot of people, but if I did a WCG or something like that, I still had to do some interviews.
Yeah.
I was on a reality TV show as well, which kind of that actually like if there is a cherry to be popped for being on camera, that'll do it because you're on camera all the time, and it just eventually stops mattering to you.
Yeah, no, I've never really had a fear of public speaking or being in front of a camera or an audience or anything. And then that just combined with the practice, CG does the most media, most everything along those lines. We've just gotten used to it, I guess.
Yeah, for me, I'm just new to EG, so I guess I had to get more well-spoken through all the interviews and whatever.
Well, you're one of the few who does interviews in multiple languages. How many languages do you speak?
Well, I speak like Swedish, German, and English, but my German isn't like
It's better than all of ours, dude.
it's better than your German, but
Yeah.
like it's hard to do spoken interviews in German, but it's possible. I did once or twice.
That's
We have
awesome.
one up on all of us.
That is awesome.
Rev13 from Twitter asks, "What is the worst thing you've done after going on tilt after a tournament or game?"
This question's for Greg. After I lost to Zenio in GSL, as I was walking out, I slammed my fist into the wall, like that, not a punch, because that's how you break things. Slam my fist into the wall, like the GOM studio. That might be it.
Did it cause damage or anything, or?
It hurt for a while, but it didn't break
Building
anything.
shook.
Scared the shit out of some Koreans upstairs. But that's about it.
For me, I don't really, well, I'm not really the rager, but I remember one time when I was streaming, I like lost a couple of games in a row, like a lot of games, 5, 6, 7 games, and I was really pissed, so I would just like mute my mic and start cheesing 10 games in a row until people in the chat were like flaming me for being so childish and stupid.
That's funny.
I like how losing 5 games in a row is like the ultimate setup for you. That's as bad as it can possibly get.
I broke my table once.
You broke your table.
That'll do it.
Okay, when I was first starting, like trying to get good at Brood War, I for those of you guys who don't know, Brood War had like a ridiculous learning curve. But I was always extremely competitive and wanted to do well. And there's just this one particular night where I was staying up till about 7, 8 a.m. playing against Koreans, and I think I actually lost something like 20 games in a row. So eventually I just decided to hit my table as hard as I could. I put my hand through the table. There's a keyboard thing below it. It broke the keyboard thing off, and then I just broke my table and realized wow, I can't play anymore. It's just so bad. But yeah, I was pretty upset. And then never again did I do that. We should tell the Eric story.
Which one?
Which one?
Remember when he came to visit my house?
Now you have to.
Oh.
Punched my monitor off
Yeah.
the table.
I wasn't there for that one.
Oh, okay.
What happened?
Should I say it? All right.
Yeah,
pretty
you
much
already
like, all right. We were at, or Eric came over for that same WCG regional that you were at, and he was practicing with me for you, and then Froz, and then the night before this qualifier, before I'm like gonna drive him down, I think like typically he actually beats me, but I think I beat him something like 7 or 8 games in a row, and he's sitting behind me. With my other table, or my other computer, and decides to just punch my monitor. It flies off the table and like falls on the ground, stands up, and immediately just walks out of my house without saying a word. And I'm just like, are you serious? Like, did that really just happen? It was
That's
pretty
good.
funny. Yeah.
G5.
Oh, Eric, yeah.
If you'd like your questions to be featured in Unburrowed, tweet us at Evil Geniuses with #Unburrowed.